gentlemen, this is Colbert Tech Repair, where you get everything tech, news, gaming, and nerd related. And today we have a ZvT. It is me, Genus Tan Colbert, versus Swanee. Now, in this game, I believe he goes for a pseudo mech build. So, whenever I go against Terran, I start out 15 hatch. Pretty much the same way I do against Protoss. 15 hatch, gas, pull, in order to fend off any early Reapers or Hellions, along with getting an early Roach Warren. You see I'm already ahead in workers, so I start my gas. I start my pull up here, so if he drops back here, my pull will not be destroyed. He starts an orbital command, and I just keep droning up right here. I start my natural. My natural is done, so I start one queen, start two queens, and two lings, and metabolic boost. All the while, he's getting a factory down, along with a reactor on his barracks. A lot of Terran players now against Zerg have been trying to go for an early 6 to 8 minute attack with Marine Marauder Siege Tank, because they think that the Zerg user will just be droning up, which most of the time they are. So they are not ready for it. He starts his second CC to go laying down here. So this is a barracks expand. He's going tech lab on his factory, so he is going to be building siege tanks. He throws down a scan, see what's going on. I throw down a Roach Warren, a Bane Nest, and two Spore Crawlers to thwart off any potential Banshee harass, along with my two Evos, and I start 5 roaches, 6 roaches, 8 roaches, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I start a bunch of roaches just to get out here and defend the front, just in case he tries to do any early Reaper or Hellion harass. So he's got his natural up. It's not saturated. He's going siege tank. He's getting +1/+1 on the tanks. He is starting excuse me, a starport, which I believe he throws a reactor on for... He might throw a reactor on, or... Yep, so he's going medevacs here, or maybe even Vikings, to try to take out my overlords. I start my +1 attack, +1 missile upgrade, my glial reconstitution and centrifugal hooks, and along with keeping up my creep spread. I also start 4 spine crawlers in my main to thwart any potential drops, all while he is building up his wall right here, which I know I won't be able to break through, so I just hang back for a little while. You can see I am ahead in workers, or actually we are dead even on workers, and he is ahead in army supply at this moment, but I have plenty of larvae saved up in case an attack is imminent. So he just keeps building up this wall here. I believe I start my 3rd, yes I do, and I throw down an infestation pit because I know he is going Mech. He throws down some missile turrets, and he comes over here just to see what's going on. He thinks he's going to get this Overseer. I start my Swarm Host. I throw down my 3rd Evo Chamber for armor upgrades. I start Enduring Locusts. All the while, he is starting Banshee production along with Marauders and Marines, and Terran ship weapons level 2, armor plating level 1, infantry weapons level 2. I have my 3rd saturated at this point. He is on 2 bases. He has his 2nd saturated. My creep spread's doing pretty well. It could be better, but hey, what can you do? So, my Swarm Hosts are right here hanging out. I should be borrowing them fairly soon and starting to pressure the front here. I go ahead and start my hive so that I can get +3/+3 because my +2/+2 has finished. And now I'm working on +1 armor. I start my Spire in order to deal with potential Banshees or Ravens. Now if you decide to go a Swarm Host build against a Mech build, you have to make sure you have some Mutalisks or at least some Hydralisks to deal with Banshees and Ravens, because Ravens will use their Seeker missiles and tear your swarm hosts to shreds. So remember, you can't just rely solely on the swarm hosts. He gets his third started right now. He brings his Vikings around to try and harass my overlords. I keep spreading my creep, so Locusts only move faster on creep. Can't get any worse, and I start 11 mutas. Now, my +1 armor is finishing up. He is starting a Thor, a Banshee, concussive shells, +1 armor on his Marines. And his third, at this point, my third is fully saturated, and I start a fourth. He starts doing some overlord harass it here, which doesn't really affect me much. I believe he gets 2 or 3 overlords out of this before my mutas pop and just destroy everything. So I have 9 more overloads on the way. I have my 4th started, and my swarm hosts are now starting to pressure the front. Actually, I pressure the 3rd. I believe I destroy this. Yep, so that's a free 300 minerals. One last volley off before I pull back. I lose 2 queens here, but I start 12 more swarm hosts. +3 is starting. I have my mutas here to defend against the Vikings. The Ravens. You can see he starts a Raven. I have a lot more swarm hosts on the way. You see units lost so far. We're almost equal, because he did kill a couple swarm hosts up there. But maybe that was all the overlord kills. But he has all these banshees here. He's going to try to go in for a cloak banshee play onto my 4th, which I haven't even saturated because I know he's going to be going over there to destroy it. So I just leave it be. And I just keep throwing swarm hosts up his front. I should have moved these up by now, but I haven't. I didn't notice he started his 3rd over here, which is fairly interesting. But he starts a planetary fortress right here to defend against the Locusts, and he starts Ravens. I start an assload of more mutas. So right now you can see army supply. I am heavily favored, but he is favored in worker supply. My 4th is starting to, or my 3rd is starting to get oversaturated. So I go over here and expand another 4th because I know that one is gone. All these banshees come over and get easily picked off by my mutas. Before cloak even finishes. Now he has a Raven out. Let's see here, I pressure his front. See, he can't really expand from this position. I move up. He starts 2 more Thors and infantry weapons level 3. I have all my mutas stationed right here. I could have came in and did some worker harass because there's only 1 missile turret here, but I did not know that at the time. Here comes the Raven. He doesn't have enough for a Seeker missile just yet. I come in, destroy his Raven. And I waste a lot of mutas there, which I shouldn't have done. But I am getting a lot of work done. I start 6 more swarm hosts. I pull back. He thinks, alright, I got this. So right now on the field, I have 30 swarm hosts, 19 mutalisks to his, 5 tanks, 3 marauders, 8 marines, and 5 Thors. So I bet you can see the way this is going to go. I have basically stopped production here because I know I'm just surrounding everything and pretty much just destroying his army. I have 2 swarm hosts just hanging out over here, not burrowed for some reason. Here comes another volley of locusts. Take down all of his medevacs here. And that's pretty much the end of the game right there. I start +2 carapace. Units lost here, 15,000 to 5,000. So I am way ahead. So I said, you know what, I'm going to be pretty fucking ballsy here. I'm going to move all the way up to his front. just to say I have dominance over you. Move all the way up and just massacre his Thors, massacre his Marines. Move back. And this is around when GG is called. He knows there's really nothing he can do. Look at my bank. 2.5k minerals, 1.8k gas. He's lost almost 17,000 resources to my 5,000, and there's really nothing he can do. I have the counters to everything he's produced. There's the GG. And we'll see the final fight here. And that was it. So, altogether, 17,000 resources lost to 5,000. So, here's some tips. If you are going Swarm Host versus Terran, make sure you get mutas. If you do not have mutas, they will use Banshees to kill your Swarm Hosts. Along with Ravens. They will use Seeker Missiles with their Ravens to destroy your Swarm Hosts. And you can't just have 5 Swarm Hosts. You have to be like me and have an ass load. I have, God, I think like 35 Swarm Hosts. 29 Swarm Hosts. I lost 1 Swarm Host, 20 Mutalisks, and that's my entire army. You can see I have 41 Locusts. The Locusts are +3 to do 15 damage per shot, +1 armor. And there's really nothing he can do. He's mined out of his natural, he's mined out of his main, and he only has 1 mining base down here that he cannot transfer workers to because they will die. So that's the basic plan here. Get your attack upgrades for your Swarm Hosts, get out mutas, and you should do fine against Mech. Alright guys, this has been Tanko Bear, Cobear Tech Repair with a ZvT Swarm Host versus Mech. If you liked, give it a like. If you didn't, feel free to give it a dislike. You can find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at TankoBear92. And you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/CobearTechRepair. See you guys.